Yeah.
Are we
We're
on?
here and we're ready. Let me just tag the page. Yeah. Look. Oh. All right. We're doing this. So I think we're up to episode 169. I think.
Check.
Yeah. Can you guys check quickly? Oh,
That's what I said.
190.
Yeah.
Holy.
Thank you.
Whoa.
That's my favourite
I'm
number.
way off. Oh wow. Okay. 169. Where did that come from?
Great number.
What a great number. All right, so tonight we have the lovely Jasmine Astra Ryan coming on the podcast to talk about her new Fringe show coming up, and also, well, like, because you're helping do the production and run this show, right?
Yeah, I've literally, this is the first time that in a very long time that I've actually stepped into the forefront of doing things versus running stuff for other people.
Okay.
So this is conceptualized, created, choreographed. I've done the lighting, everything, like literally everything. I've created this little baby to birth.
Okay.
So,
And so
yeah.
you've been involved in music and entertainment and nightlife for quite a while as well, right?
Yeah, we're not going to say how long. That's giving away my age. No, well, essentially...
No, I'm curious
yeah.
now.
So I grew up with my dad being a sound engineer.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was, I guess, a little bit different when I was younger, when you kind of just want your dad to be there, but really cool when I was older, where I'm like,
Yeah.
these are like the amazing people and stuff my dad's work with. 3 years old, massive concert. They found me in like the stage speaker asleep, one of the bass speakers. So I'm pretty sure that like...
Which concert?
I'd have to ask my parents. I asked them a couple of things. So first concert I ever went to was in my mum's belly.
Very nice, yeah.
Just before I was born. My dad and my uncle smuggled my mum out of the hospital in the middle of the night, took her to a concert, which
Wow.
was Rodriguez.
Really?
So,
When
so you know
kind of
Sugar
got
Man.
to see Rodriguez.
Yeah.
But can we pull up Rodriguez if that's all right, you guys?
Good song.
Yeah,
Sweet
so-
Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah,
Just
Sugar
passed
Man,
away.
yeah.
So
Oh, did he really just pass away?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, wow.
Second half of last year. I want to say around maybe.
Yeah, because he was like unknown
October?
for so long, right? And then they made a documentary or something, and then he blew up or
He's
something like that.
Brilliant artist, and yeah, my dad was doing sound, so my dad's worked with some greats of the industry.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I can't believe they smuggled your mum
in a
with you in her belly.
in a wicker basket. She came back and gave birth to me like 24 hours later. So yeah,
It's just the music sent her into labour
yeah.
almost.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. Mum's a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. Like you can't say no. We just we just do what we're gonna do. So yeah, I think it was a bit of that. Music. I say I don't breathe air. I breathe music. Like the entertainment industry has just been part of my life, my whole life. So
It's pretty cool. Then, like, when did you start really diving into it? Because then, like, you know, like when you said you were older, like what age roughly did you realise, like, wait a minute, my dad's really cool. He does all this cool stuff. Like,
well, Dad would always tell us stories, but growing up, like we had like Dad used to do the Variety Bash gig up in Newman, so we had like
Variety
Paul Kelly.
Bash
Yeah,
gig?
you know
Can we try and find that as
the
well?
charity where they do
I
raise
don't
money
think
for kids with cancer and they drive the really cool cars.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I've seen that. They used to have that kind of stuff down in Bustleton as well, I'm pretty
So
sure.
they do a massive
think.
drive, I think from Exmouth all the way to past Newman, so top end
wow.
of Australia. And my dad, like, I think my biggest thing that I've taken away from my dad, like not only my love of music and the entertainment industry, but community and giving people a go. And he would always just put his hand up and do, you know, anything free for anyone. Or
So it was
you
the
know,
Variety...
Variety Bash, that's it.
The Variety... Okay.
Yeah. Children's charity, so raising money for cancer. So yeah, he'd have like Paul Kelly or Barnsey or other really like cool Aussie artists, Rose Tattoo and things like that.
Yeah, okay,
so,
yeah.
You know, I kind of had those artists coming in and out of my house when I was a kid. And
That's
kind of
awesome, though.
which
Having
was
Rose
pretty
Tattoo
cool.
and Barnsey, you know?
Yeah, there's some
And Paul
stories about
Kelly,
Barnsey, but we'll leave them.
Okay.
He's a father now. No, not in regards to me, but just his partying antics and stuff.
That's it. He's calmed
and
down
my
a bit.
parents' partying antics. But, so I'd have to say that I guess like the theatre arts and entertainment stuff, like I was in jazz ballet and tap and theatre groups and stuff from a really young age. I guess other kids were out there playing like sports while I was kind of doing all the artsy things. First play I wrote, this makes you laugh so much, was my mum and dad were Brownie and Scout leaders. And,
Scout leaders,
yeah,
okay.
so my dad was Scout leader as well, so very community based. And I wrote a play for the Brownies end of year thing, and that was probably the first time. I think I was like 11 or 12. So that was the first time I had like a production that I'd written, performed by other people, which was pretty cool.
What was the production like?
It was just like literally about, so there's 4 different brownie types. I forget what they are, but there's like 4 different factions essentially. And they all have different like kind of, I guess, gifts or things that they bring to the world. And mine was about like bringing them together and then them looking in this pond and seeing that like all the magic is within them, not outside of them. So
that's cool.
I guess a random empowerment piece.
That's all right.
Look back on it now, so.
And then so like from that, then like how did it, like when you reached 18? That's when you're like, I want to do this more often or full time or. I've studied like quite a lot of things. So, okay. What have you studied?
Left high school at 17. Left high school at 15. That's such a lie.
Oh wow, 2 years difference.
And started working in other bits and pieces, but was studying at night time, so studying like music, entertainment, and things like that. Then went off into uni to study a Bachelor of Creative Industries Drama/Theatre Studies, so tech, lighting, staging, theatre, film and TV. I did a double degree and formed all my electives to form sub-majors because I'm a psycho. And also did summer
That
school
sounds
for
like
3
so
years.
much work.
It was.
But that's crazy though. You pushed all the way through that and like, you passed it all and got through it all.
And I was going to go back and do education because I'm like, the industry can be a fickle beast. But I didn't end up doing it. I just went and started, working in different things, everything from brand ambassador or creating campaigns for, I guess this is what's good because I've had so many different experiences across the entertainment, hospitality, music and theatre industry that I'm kind of like bringing them all together now. And into this one company. So
no, very cool then. And so then like along the journey though, like what are some of the things you've done or like events or because like you seem like you've done quite a bit, right? Like
back in the day, how old would I have been at uni? So it would have been like 20. I was on the like little committee board for Rocket and Livid Festival as well. So
Livid Festival?
Yeah, so it's a festival in, look this one up. It's a festival in back in the day in Queensland. Probably the best band that ever played was Green Day.
Really?
So
okay.
That was awesome. Yeah, I got to see Green Day.
So it was Livid Festival?
Yeah, Livid, L-I-V-I-D. It's a bit hot under these lights, guys. Excuse me.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I didn't set up a fan. So what, back in 1996? Or?
A bit longer after that. Probably about 2001, 2002.
Type in Green Day after as well.
Green Day will be like 2000 and I think 2001, 2002. But that was pretty cool.
You guys get the hang of it.
20.
Wow.
I kind of, in that space when I was doing that was the person that was getting everything for free. So organising whatever I could get for free. So I think that's where I kind of got sinking my teeth into like networking and what I can, I guess, pull out of my butt for free for events and gigs and stuff like that, which I'm pretty good at. If I've put on a few events here in Perth and obviously over in Queensland and stuff, but I'm always the person that's like networking and being like, hey, you have a brand or a business and it would fit in with this event. What can we do to collaborate, and what can you essentially give for in-kind sponsorship? So
no, very cool.
Yeah, I love a good sponsorship deal.
Yeah, so there you go. So when Green Day did it, it was 2000.
Oh, there we go.
2000 on the dot.
There we go.
Wow, okay. That's awesome though.
Showing my age.
But yeah, that's really cool then. And so then like the progression from like 2000 to now, like you've done a lot, right? Like
so over in Queensland, I I wasn't the movement back then. It was Vivace or Vivace Entertainment. So
Vivace.
musical term means lively, fast, and loud.
How do you spell it? So
Vivace. You'll find reminiscences of it on Facebook. But essentially working the punk and metal scene.
So is that one... Oh, and go back to all, you guys?
Yeah.
And then that first one there?
No.
No, well, type in entertainment after.
If you go on Facebook, you'll see a bit of that. But I've got bits and pieces of it on my Insta. I'm such a bad content sharer. I've done really well for this production, but I've been...
It might be the first one, maybe the Instagram.
No, I don't have an Instagram.
Oh, they don't? No?
That'll be an overseas person or something. It's still on Facebook though, but essentially very much concentrating on the local scene. But a lot of people that went big, so I'm not sure if you listen to metal.
Yeah, a little bit. Used to back in the day.
So Autopsy, if you've ever heard of them. So I gave them their first gig. They were from Victoria, so got the guys up and played, Sister's Doll.
Okay, that rings a bell. Yeah,
they're quite famous now. Yeah. So a lot of bands that were either starting out or, I guess, had built a small amount of followers and stuff, and just giving them a place to play. So that was at the good old Metro in Ipswich.
That's
Same
them,
guys,
yeah. Yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah. So I had a band come over from Toronto, Rehab for Quitters. So I did a bit with them as well.
What was like the process for like doing all this? Like, it seems like it would have been quite a lot of work, right?
It's a lot of work, and at that point as well, this is where I was like, I'm a psycho. Like, if I do something, I don't do anything.
Yeah, you just do that. Yeah.
I'm always doing more than one thing. So at that point, I was working for Flight Centre, and so being able to at that point, I was helping my friends' bands and doing their like logistics for tours and stuff anyway. And those guys were coming over and doing their own visas, so it's literally just essentially booking agent plus getting them booked in my own shows.
Wow, okay.
I was quite lucky for that.
Yeah, that's awesome though. Being able to tie it all in together and just be able to bring people over and send them around.
I've got there's a punk band and rockabilly. He's got 2 bands over in Vegas. They want to come out here, so I'm looking at that for 2025. And then some artists, which I won't say anything, for the UK coming out here. So
wow, okay.
My word for this year is delegate. Which I've never really understood the concept in previous years, and I'm always working my ass off and.
So wait, can we look up the meaning of delegate if that's all right?
Let's have a fan, guys.
I'm so sorry about that.
I'm gonna. Oh, okay, cool. Hilarious little sign here.
Yeah, that's it. So I got that from my last guest. So
the one that gave the balls.
Yeah, that's it. So delegate meaning, if that's all good. All right, to bind up to bandage.
No, delegate means to to give roles over to other people, not just myself. And to really just so it's obviously viewers don't know, but have launched my own company and just integrating everything and starting to actually hire people. I've now, hi Tyler, hired a choreographer.
Oh wow!
So obviously I've studied dance and bits and pieces, not as well as Tyler. She's been dancing since she was 3 years old. She's in the show, and I said to her, instead of me choreographing or co-choreographing or whatever, I'm like, can you just do this for the other productions that we've got in the works at the moment? So that's going to be good.
Okay.
Have an amazing aerial artist from WA.
So what is the Fringe show actually called again?
It's called Vaudevillains.
Vaudevillains.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
That's it there, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a introspective, I'll go layman's terms. It's literally looking at villains and villainesses throughout literature.
Okay.
Through our ages. And actually looking at the true stories of it. So actually going back to Greek mythology and having a look, or actually going...
So really that far back,
Well, yeah, because what happens is, Disney and all these other companies and corporations take
they've twisted
story
it, right?
and they change it to be however they want to.
Yeah.
And so, Hans Christian Andersen and Grimm Tales were actually quite beautifully morbid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy with that, isn't it? Yeah.
Macabre little gothy. So,
yeah. Yeah, because it is wild with that. It's like with some of those original things. Like, what are some examples? Can we try and look that up if possible? So, because Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah, one of my favourites, which I've just spoken about recently, is if we look at the story of Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, that's one of them.
It was actually like the mother. The mother told the stepdad, get rid of them. We can't afford them. Go and leave them in the forest. And the stepdad's actually like, look, your mother's trying to kill you. You need to go and protect yourselves and hide. So
that was, okay.
And he even gave them the bread in the beginning so that they could actually follow breadcrumb back. And then I think 3 times she said, get rid of them. And then on the 3rd time, she's like, you need to actually like cut their heads off with an axe kind of thing. And so it's morphed over the years for them to be like, the evil stepdad did it, or they literally just got lost in the forest
and then found a witch. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but see, it's a similar thing as well. Like I think it was Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Where the original Alice in Wonderland it's actually like a girl whose parents burnt in their house, and she was suffering from psychological trauma. So she was actually morphing from being in a psych ward and then also being in the real world. Yeah, and then merging them together. And she didn't really know what was reality or what wasn't, because she was just so, she had, like, she went through a lot of trauma. Yeah, basically.
But I was talking about this the other day, like, essentially villains or villainesses are actually birthed through trauma.
Yeah.
It's when they're actually not recognized and they're not seen and they don't actually get the support, I guess you could call it, from the people that they've kind of been like, you've done this to me and now you're like turning your back on me, so now I'm seeking revenge. And
okay then.
Funniest thing
that is like that, that makes sense in a way, like
And what's crazy is like when we look at villains and heroes, heroes are usually vigilantes as well.
Yeah.
Except for we look at them as they're seeking justice.
Yeah.
So there's like 2 sides of a coin there, where it's kind of like almost the same thing. It's just how society or how the writer's portraying them, which is kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to strip back all the layers. I wanted to present these beautiful characters and their stories for the audience to be like, are they actually a villain or are they misunderstood? So
very cool.
Yeah.
So how long does the show run for? Like,
so duration of the actual
duration
show, or how many weeks?
Both.
Okay, so it's a 90-minute show.
Okay.
And it goes for 4 weeks over Fringe, but I'm alternating, so I wasn't crazy. Apparently, everyone said to me I did it the right way versus what they've all been doing. So we've got this Saturday night, the 27th. Then the following week, we've got the Friday night. Following week, we've got the Saturday night. And then the next week, we've got the Friday night. So a lot of people are going like Tuesday to Thursday, back to back, or,
really?
Okay. Which is what a lot of people do. And then when I was booking mine in, I was going to go double weekends. And then I thought about it. I'm actually gone back to uni.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm studying entertainment law, international tour regulations, and so I've done on the stage. I've done tech and behind the stage, and now I'm doing
the
all
legalities,
of the legalities of stuff.
Very cool, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I could either just go crazy and do it, or I'm believing I've grown up and I've gotten smarter and now I'm making wiser choices.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a friend about this ages and ages ago, but I don't think there is an entertainment lawyer in WA, is there? They're all on the East Coast, aren't they?
I would say East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too...
Because would you want to go down that path and become a lawyer, or no?
But if I touch anything, I want to understand everything.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, though.
Yeah, and so I've always I've had people write contracts for me. I've used there's things like art law and stuff where you can get contracts and you pay for them. They're already created.
What are they called? What's it called again?
Arts law.
Arts law.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's across the whole of Australia for anyone out there that's a creative. So whether it's DJs or venues or anything, you can actually go on there.
Really?
And they just really support let's call it the admin office side of the industry. So I've lent in and relied on that. But ideally now where I'm about to 2025 go Europe and other places, I really want to make sure that the contracts that I'm creating with other people,
they're tight and they're balanced.
Also that they benefit both parties. One of the things that I guess has made me angry in the industry for so many years, and this is coming back to my dad as well and being so community orientated, is that it's always one-sided.
Yeah.
It's always been in the benefit for big record labels or other things like that. So when I do work with artists as well, I like to work in an independent way.
Yeah.
Which means they can go and get gigs and they can do things outside of what I book them. And then
that's actually really good because I mean it's crazy to think when like a big artist comes over here and they'll spend one day here and then they'll spend one day over in like Melbourne, one day in Sydney, and then they'll fly off to America or something like that. They don't even get to experience Australia.
Yeah.
You know, but instead of going, okay, well, you know, you can do your Friday here and then you can do next week Saturday over there, and then you can book and do whatever you want in that time whilst you're here.
I think in that way it's like, and this is what happens to artists where they get so burnt out, but I think in that way it's like the record labels maximizing how many dates they can get in a tour, which I do. Realistically, the more cities you can see in the shorter amount of time, you're going to save money, even if it's the artist. So even if, you know, you were going and DJing and going on tour, the more places that you can get to in the least amount of time is going to save you money.
Yeah.
But we also have to look at what happens to artists when they work. It doesn't matter what creative or anyone, but, you know, it ends up, you know, mental health issues or physical issues or anything like that. And I think that I think there's a shift happening. And I'd love to see it more, but essentially in the way that artists start saying no to things that don't align with them, but also that it becomes that there's actually a wellness or a mental health team that's actually looking after the artists and stuff as well.
Yeah,
so
it needs to be implemented because it's so unfortunate, but a lot of people don't talk about that side of things where, as I said, it's like they're traveling from city to city, from country to country, whatever the go is, but then it's like, you know, they're just wrapped up in a bloody hotel room somewhere. Then they go out and DJ or be in a band in front of 1,000 people, 10,000 people, whatever it is, but then they're back in the hotel room. Like, they might go to the after party or whatever, but if they have to fly somewhere in 3 hours after their show, then they'll literally go back to the hotel room, pack up, have a 1 hour nap, get in a taxi, go to the airport, see you later.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Not
wild.
gonna lie, I do like touring though.
Yeah,
it's
really?
fun. Yeah,
I can imagine it would be quite fun, but
it can be very strenuous. Though,
yeah, that's it.
so-
If you're doing a lot of it, and like, I can imagine it would take its toll almost.
And it's funny because like that is the thing, you don't get to see a lot of things, but when I do have artists or other things, I'm like, here, go to like, or in Queensland, go to the Australia Zoo, go and see this, go and see that. You know, so yeah, I think it's important to really, I guess, experience the places that you're going to.
Yeah, that's it.
Rather than just,
I
don't know,
see,
rocket in, rocket out.
It's wild. So Ewan's mate, Copycat, who's doing an American tour at the moment. Oh, I think he just came back from American tour, but he came over here for 2 days and he had a show. But then it's like the first day when he got here, he had the day off. And I was like, well, you've never seen Perth before. So I drove him around the whole of Perth. Took him up to Kalamunda, took him to Joondalup, took him to Freo, like, took him all around the place so he can actually, experience exactly what it's like here and see the beaches and the whole lot. Yeah, there he is, there, Copycat. So, yeah, he's
amazing.
Pretty damn cool dude. And the thing is, he's only, I'd say, maybe 25 years old or something like that. And he's just been like thrown in the deep end with all this, which is still really cool. But, you know, it gets to that stage where it's like you need it can be strenuous. It can be full on. It can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But if you're just catching a plane every 12 hours...
And not in business, so you don't get to sleep.
That's
so
it,
crammed up.
Yeah, with everyone else, yeah. So what
fed
touring?
Booze, fed everything else.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
Yeah.
What touring have you done? Like, what tours have you organised?
Yeah, just in Australia. So just like East Coast and heading down and stuff like that down there. I'm looking forward to having the guys come out from, I'm just going to say Jerk anyway, but Jerk and Dan by the Night, which is it's a punk, and then they've also got their rockabilly band. They're coming out and doing all the rockabilly events, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And then we've spoken about going to Japan, which I'd love to
That'd be cool.
actually go over there with them. So a nice little shout out there to you guys. To Josh.
So what was their name again? It was
Damned by the Night. These guys
Damned.
actually, which is
so DAMNED.
yeah. So their band Jerk though with an exclamation mark. I'm just like, dudes, it's so cool. They actually like go on tour all the time with Marky Ramone. So the guys left over from the Ramones.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm just like, can I just come there instead? I was meant to go to Vegas last year for my birthday, but as I say, my dad hadn't been well, so didn't do that. And
that's so cool though that they get to hang out with the original members.
Can we not do here? Can I go there?
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm looking forward to, so this show we will tour Australia. So going to do the Fringe circuit. And then there's no Dark Mofo this year.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited though. So they were offered the job. The person stepped down. I was thinking, do I apply for it? And then I'm like, I can't do uni, so bachelor's degree fast track, so 2 years instead of 3.
Yep. And
be planning events and work for like Dark Mofo,
so
or essentially Mona.
Because Dark Mofo it's in Tasmania, right?
Yeah, it's ran by the guy who owns Mona, which is a museum of old and new art, which is all about sex, death, and life, which is a Scorpio's favourite topics.
Yeah, so, see, a good friend of mine, he actually went over to that last year, and when he showed, like, I saw his Instagram reels, and I was like, what is this?
It is so what's really cool in Tassie, they have a lot of, like, old, we could call them, like, I guess, they would be derived from, like, Scotland, England, and places like that, and I guess people call them pagan, but, like, they go around before all the apples are going to be pulled off the trees to make the cider, and they go and knock on the wood, which essentially is like waking up all of the so we talk about tree spirits and stuff that are in trees, so dryads and stuff like that, but they'll go to and do that, and then they have this big ceremony where they walk through the trees and somebody's dressed up in like these things, and they burn effigies and stuff to like get rid of all the bad spirits essentially.
Oh wow.
And to wake up all of the good tree spirits to actually have a beautiful harvest and to make really great cider, and there's good cider and great what do you call it, Scotch distilleries down there.
I love it how there's a Trump photo just then. They're going to burn.
They're going to burn Trump.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do all these like really cool.
Look at that, it's ridiculous.
In the middle of winter, so yeah, they just do these like cool winter festivals. They have a thing called the Winter Feast, which is just like all these vendors cooking food and artists playing music, and they burn. Last year they burned this like weird platypus looking thing that was like from, it was like from Papua New Guinea, like style kind of spirit, and you put all of your regrets in there and then they burn them all, so you just get to see like really,
that is so cool though.
Really like thought-provoking and like stuff that you're just like, what the hell did I just see? So I'm looking forward to putting on a few shows down there during No Dark Mofo. So I'm taking opportune.
Yeah, so I'm going to go there in 2025 by the looks, so I want to check that out.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll come back in 2025. They're doing Summer, which is Mona FOMO.
Yeah.
They've got Queens of the Stone Age playing. So
really?
Yeah, I was like, I would work for him, especially he's a bit of a character to say, Walshy, David Walsh, yeah.
All right, the lead singer of Queens.
No, the guy who owns Mona.
Oh, yeah.
So he was a poker player, won so much money touring the world, and decided to start his own art gallery. So he's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
But they have all kinds of just like, the only way to describe it's just stuff that you're like, what have I just seen? This is so cool. And I just love I think it's nice to play with the shadows, like in talking about like, the only way I can describe it is in the spiritual community. Sometimes people are just like love and light only, no bad vibes, you know? And I think that we are dark and light, you know what I mean? We have both a hero and a villain inside of us. And I think that when we integrate and actually honor both those parts of ourselves, that's our true selves. And I think that...
I was thinking the exact same thing. Yin and yang.
Yeah.
That's it. The dark and the light.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's so important, and, you know... being able to explore, especially through creative space in that way, is so cathartic. It's literally like allows you to heal parts of yourself and also identify with things that you may not actually, I guess, admit to. If that makes sense. You know, people are always like,
can you move the mic? Yeah, no, it's
people
okay.
are always like, I'm just a good person. I don't do bad. We all have, you know, things that we do, and
well, people do people things. And sometimes people do bad things. Sometimes people do good things.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do weird or odd or strange things.
Yeah.
But we're all people, right? There is no normal in today's society. Everyone is odd to some extent in some way, matter, form, things, anything. Like, people are people. And people just do people things.
Yeah.
And so having like it's a good analogy. It's always been a good analogy. It's been around for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But
Oh, sorry, the cat just came to say hello. I love animals.
yeah, no, that's fair. Yes, that's Sassy the Sasquatch.
I know.
So with your show as well, so you're going on the Australian tour for it.
Yeah, the
So
plan
how
is at
does-
the moment. Well,
How does that work though? So like you pack it all up and then you just get on a bus, or like you catch a
no,
plane?
We're
or-
definitely going to be doing planes. So it'll be Perth,
Mm-hmm.
Fringe. We're missing Adelaide this year. Sorry, Adelaide. We'll be back next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too close. And then I'm at this plan heading to Byron. Then
Yep.
afterwards, I will head to Tassie, and we'll do shows there with the other two that I'm creating at the moment.
Okay.
I don't want to give any.
No, that's
hints
all right.
yet.
That's pretty cool that you're still working on
Think
more
very
stuff.
macabre, think old school. I'm just going to say think knives swallowing and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and-
very out there.
Yeah. And then from there, we will come back to Perth
Yep.
and go to Darwin Fringe.
Mm.
Hopefully doing Karratha in the meantime. So, and then we
Is there a
have...
Fringe in Karratha?
There's
as well?
not, but they've asked people from Fringe to come up there. So
Yeah, see, Karratha's booming at the moment. It's actually wild. Like, can
So-
we Google it? Like, Karratha is really developing. It's actually crazy how much it's developing.
And they're putting so much, from what I can see, they're putting a lot of money into actually
Yeah.
bringing people up. Like, so I think it's really good.
But it's so expensive as well to live up there because of the mining.
I grew up in Newman, so
Yeah, well, that's it. Right, yeah. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, red dirt, iron ore, spin effects, 37 degrees on a good day.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's
it's
it.
a bit hectic.
Yeah.
But and then from there it is Melbourne Fringe.
Yep.
And then it's essentially November, and so that's October, so it'll be November. Then I'm gonna probably sprint off to the US. I want to do Halloween there. I want to do my birthday in Vegas, and then ideally I'd really love to spend December in New York and just do some downtime and have Christmas there.
Nice. Okay.
Then I'll be back, and then it'll be Perth Fringe again, and that'll be Perth Fringe, Adelaide Fringe. I'm going to split at the moment, just looking at it, but probably be here to go and do stuff outside of Dark Mofo, but still in that month.
Yep.
Then Edinburgh, Prague, Reykjavik, the Baltics, and there's a couple more.
Wow.
And then,
So much traveling.
which I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Have you just been like working your absolute butt off
My
recently?
whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this is what I was saying, like being able to be in so many different industries and understand how they all work. I know how to book us logistically. I know who to go to. I know what to do.
Yeah.
I know how to do
To
all
do
of
it cost
that.
effective, but
Yeah.
also, efficient as well at the same time.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
But eventually, like, as I was saying, like hiring people this year and getting people into the spaces and places so that I can kind of look after, oversee everything, and then do the things that I love the best, which is, I guess, going on tour, writing and creating. And I really do love, like, I love sponsorships and seeing what I can get, like, for
But-
free, essentially.
Well, who doesn't though, right?
Starving artists need money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. How would you go about sponsorships though? Like, would you contact them
Yeah.
and then be like, this is like for your Fringe show? Like, what would your process be?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things where people will literally just write out like a sponsorship deal and go and give them. So I've helped with sponsorships for different events and stuff like that, or different artists.
Okay.
And I always want to tailor it to the person. So, hey, Bluntfield, if you guys don't know Bluntfield, you need to get him on the show. We were just talking before.
definitely
It's
need to,
definitely
yeah.
worth being on the show. He's over here for his Fringe stuff. But essentially, big 420 advocate, really writes some great music around, I guess, awareness of what's happening in our society and things like that. And then also some, great fun songs and stuff as well. But being a 420 advocate and such an advocate for medicinal, and my dad was sick, my dad had cancer. Without the medicinal CBD oil and the I think it's the oil in the capsules that the doctors actually prescribed him.
Yeah, yeah.
I do not think he would be here. That took him through chemo and radiation. He was having them back to back.
It is crazy, isn't it?
I believe that's what saved my dad. Like,
isn't
truly,
it crazy that it's been so demonized for so long, and there's so much research and so much evidence that it actually helps so much with cancer patients or people with other issues, diseases, or anything. Like anything that is life-threatening. There's stuff out there to heal everything that's like non-pharmaceutical. That's it.
It all comes from natural things anyway, and then they process it. But with blunt, essentially, I went to amazing companies that were already in that space, and just said, look, this is what we're looking for. This is the money that we're looking for. This is what we're willing to offer. So it could be anything. Let's say I was going to do a sponsorship for your show. I'd be like, okay, what do you got? You got obviously film stuff. You've got monitors. You've got other bits and pieces. I'd probably look at some kind of cool clothing kind of sponsorship, and then microphones. Maybe water.
Yeah, we should talk about this after. Because honestly, I've been trying to get sponsors for this thing for quite a while.
Okay, cool.
And we have had 2 or 3 sponsors. Yeah. But then they were clothing brands, but then the clothing brands ceased to exist anymore. Yeah, they closed.
The clothing brands closed.
Yeah, that's it. So then it's like I was promoting them, and they did give us a little bit of free merch, but at the same time, like, it's all about helping each other.
Agree.
And that's where, like, if I can help a clothing brand or someone wants to sponsor me, and then I can help get their name out there and, spread awareness, then I'd love to. But it's just, it's a lot of work. Yeah. Even just to do this.
I actually enjoy this. This is like one of the things I love about. That's why I was saying, like, I can concentrate on sponsorships and grants and stuff. I think it's that community spirit again. Yeah. It's like bringing people together, networking. I'm pretty good. Like, someone will be like, oh, I'm looking for a barber. I'm like, do you know Jack? Go and see Jack. He does this, or anything from like, And I remember my ex years ago, like when I was like 19, and he's like, you literally, this is showing age again. He's like, you literally need a Pokedex with all the people you know in it. And so he can type in and he's like, blah, blah, blah.
I remember
has this
those,
and that. And I'm like, so I don't know. I just build good relationships and just
can we actually look that up? That was like the coolest
Pokedex.
The coolest toy back in the day. Yeah,
Pokemon.
Like I always it's Pokedex.
At that point I was like,
and then type in toy after.
And going to uni early to watch Pokemon in the room next door, and also SpongeBob SquarePants because I didn't want to miss it in the morning. So
really.
But just kind of building those relationships and working out what people need, and everything from in-kind to monetary. SpongeBob rocks.
Yeah. It's an absolute classic.
Yeah, to monetary. So for myself at the moment, looking at stuff that I really want long-term that'll go around Australia, but looking at things, I've obviously run a lot of events inside of companies, inside of venues, so like nightclubs and stuff like that. So looking at my plan of attack in that way is look at what they've got there, what alcohol they're doing, who can I speak to the rep, work out what they actually need, tailor something to them, and then obviously have a price point value and then negotiate whatever that may be.
Yeah, okay. Well, for someone that wants to, like, I always say this with some guests that are really interesting, like yourself, right? Thanks. Then how, like, if someone wants to break out into the industry and actually get into, like, booking and touring and all the other stuff, how would, like, what would you say is, like, good steps, the right things to do and some of the things you shouldn't do to be able to actually, like...
Don't just rookie stuff. Like, I don't know, there's, like, so many different... I guess it comes up a lot in, like... the doof scene.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I'm in a lot of different scenes, and I know there's some great like doof parties and things out there, but there was an incident in Queensland where they had a renegade, which is a doof that's, I don't know if they call them that over here, but they call them that in Queensland.
A renegade? So
it's a renegade, which means like you're in the bush and like there's no approvals for it, there's no anything, it's just like full doof. And then there was a flood, and so people got washed away and things like that. I think that in these kind of things, even having the full drive comes up.
Yeah, look up our renegade.
Renegade Doof, Queensland.
Yeah. So DOOF.
Yeah, but essentially, like, even in that kind of space, you can go to the local government and just say to them, I'm looking to do an event. Any events under 1,000 people don't need an event license.
Really?
Yeah, so you can get away with that, everyone. You've got to check out your local government stuff though, but in a lot of ones, and that's what I do too, I'll liaison for events, freelance between local government and them. I do know lots of loopholes to get the loopholes and things done.
It's always worth knowing the loopholes, right? Yeah.
And in a good way. It's like, if you have 999 people, you don't have to essentially do X, Y, and Z, especially if it's on private property and things like that.
Yep.
As
they just cap it off. 999 people,
But don't rookie it. Go and learn some stuff, even if it's self-learning. I would highly recommend just even going to TAFE and just learning some stuff, and then finding a mentor. Mentors are huge, and
did you ever have a mentor at all?
I'd say my dad.
Yeah, very cool.
My dad, going back now a bit, but when I was 8 years old, he got me to build all the electronics of a mixing desk. So
It got to you to build.
And I studied I didn't do the normal subjects in high school either. I did electronics and silverwork and art and theatre and all that kind of stuff. So
just I was straight into it.
My sister Helen did mechanics and she kicked all the guys' butts, and I think it's just our dad kind of wanted us girls to be able to do the things that normally I guess girls wouldn't do, so that we could actually
more hands-on stuff,
and know for ourselves and not have to be I don't know,
dependent on guys.
Helpless damsels in distress, which is a good segue. So with the show, which I'm really excited about, do you know Shibari?
Yeah. I've heard of Shibari, but can we look it up? So you've got Shibari performances.
I do.
Oof.
So do you know the old villain from the black and white movies? It's where the original villain ever came from.
Okay.
So black and white movies in the 1900s.
So it's SHI.
IBIRI.
Yep.
But essentially it was tying a woman to the train track, or tying a damsel in distress to the train track.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's Japanese bondage, isn't it?
It is Japanese rope tying. So it is definitely something that moved into the kink scene and stuff like that. And we have a little bit of a play in that area because why not?
Have you tried it before? It's just
yes.
but then does it give you euphoria almost, or because it just seems like it really hurts sometimes.
So I was talking to my beautiful damsel, which is Chelsea Liley, and essentially we were talking about the difference between being, I guess, tied versus being actual rigged and dangling. And she calls it spicy. So her and Jenna, which are Jenna is essentially the rigger, which is what they call the person that ties.
Yep.
And then Chelsea is the rope bunny, which is what they call it essentially in the kink scene. And they just call it, spicy. But I guess there's a song about it from the Deviants. There's a fine line between pleasure and pain, which is one of my favourite karaoke songs.
I play that out and about all the time.
So, I guess in that kind of way, I guess everyone has their difference.
DIVY. Deviants,
Chrissy Amphlett.
Yeah.
Great artist.
Yeah, apparently she was wild on stage.
I think she's wild
in
all
general.
aspects of her life.
That's it, yeah. I got told a few interesting stories that she'd get up on stage and she'd just go nuts and just have a lot of fun.
I love her. She's definitely one of my idols, along with Betty Boop.
Yeah, Betty Boop.
But with the Shibari piece, so it's they usually in the black and white movies would tie the damsel in distress to the train track. So we've got a beautiful piece where Jenna is the villain with the moustache and Chelsea's the innocent damsel, and we're just going to have a play on all those kind of things, and got some cool stuff, and so we get some audience interaction as well. So,
okay, very cool. So what actually is the story of the show that you're running then? Is it all good if you tell us the story, and then because obviously if you see it, it will be what you've said, but it'll be better because it's in person and it's the actual show.
So they're all separate pieces. So we have Maleficent, and essentially having a really good look at what happened to her And
So
the
Maleficent,
experience.
like the Disney character?
Yeah, but
Okay.
actually going back to the original, essentially she was love.
Really?
Always can ruin things. But essentially she was in love with this person, which I think was the king. And then she was actually the fairy or a woodland fairy. And he actually cut her wings off to kind of keep her where he wanted her. And so you know,
Really?
she was upset and angry, and in turn sought revenge.
Wow, okay.
So this is a little bit of a play in witnessing her in her rawest form, though, rather than her anger form. So that's going to be quite fun.
Yeah, okay.
Very sexy, very burlesque, very.
Very nice, yeah.
We've got burlesque and.
It sounds like my kind of show.
Yeah, you've got to come.
Yeah.
Come on Saturday night. And then another piece we have is a beautiful portrayal of Hades and Persephone.
Hades and Persephone.
Yeah, which is
okay.
Greek mythology. So the real story is that so Persephone was the goddess of spring, and she was stolen and taken to the underworld, which is where Hades was in charge of. And essentially they fell in love. And then her mother's like, I want her back. And the gods and goddesses of, Greek mythology decided that she could come back to Earth just for spring.
Just for spring?
Just for spring.
Okay.
But essentially what had happened was she fell in love with him, and so she decided to eat the pomegranate, which meant that she could stay there with him, and she will come back just for spring, but she would be with the love of her life.
Sounds very similar to Adam and Eve almost. It's like eating the
eating
forbidden
the apple,
fruit. Yeah, and then you're
she got
stuck on
booted,
Earth.
which
Yeah.
Lilith, we'll move on to Lilith. So
Okay.
we have a piece that is Lilith. So they talk about Lilith as being the first partner of Adam.
Okay.
But she had free will, just like Adam essentially did, and that she spoke up, and God and Adam did not like a strong woman to speak up, and so she
That's
was
awesome.
yeah,
though.
she was thrown into out of the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
And then because Adam was made from the dirt, Eve was made from Adam's rib in his likeness.
Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah.
Lilith was made, I'm getting goosebumps now. Lilith was actually made from the dirt and the dust as well. And so there's this whole thing around, which is something that comes up in a lot of portrayal of women through different stories, where it's always something that it's like they're essentially sullied or evil or something like that because of being powerful with their sexuality. And in owning one's sexuality or one's sexual appetite is evil. And so, those kind of things are deemed bad, not just by the church, but it's, obviously our lives have come from those places, and so those things come from there. So we've got a piece of Lilith essentially being from in the Garden of Eden, and then being kicked out, and then being essentially, fuck you, I'm going to step into my power. So
Wow,
that
okay,
one's really powerful too. Think people in Perth know it's not around Australia a lot, but there's this thing called Eros, or temple dancing.
Temple dancing,
yeah,
okay.
so if you look up the Temple of Eros, a little bit of a plug there. Not on purpose. But yeah, Temple of Eros is an amazing, you probably have to go to all, but it's a great dance group and stuff here in Perth, where Adri, hey Adri, who's doing the piece, came from or trained with. And another one is, again, looking at Greek mythology, so Medusa.
Yeah, okay.
But looking at the true story of Medusa, so essentially...
This sounds amazing.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Excuse, we should have done disclaimers. I haven't even sworn that much. The true story of Medusa is essentially she was the head priestess of Athena's temple.
Yeah.
And they all had to be virgins. Essentially, she was attacked by Poseidon, which is Hades' brother, and Zeus's brother. But he was the god of water and the oceans, and he attacked her and essentially had his way with her without permission. Athena got angry and said, "You're sullied. You cannot be in my church and look after my temple anymore." And so we get told that she was turning in now portrayal that anyone she looks at, she'll turn them to stone.
Yeah.
But the original story is any man she looks at, she turns them to stone.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And essentially she was the most beautiful woman on earth and likened to Venus.
But also, wasn't it if they look at her as well?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like...
Yeah, if they look at her, sorry, yeah. Thanks for that correction.
Yeah, that's all right. But then, yeah, I also did hear that it was just guys. Girls would be untouched, but it would just be dudes that if they looked at her, then they would be turned to stone.
And the thing
then she would be like... she was supposed to be apparently amazing and gorgeous and all sorts of stuff.
And
but then snakes for hair.
Yep, exactly that. Yeah, Athena's like, because you're so beautiful, I don't want you to be beautiful anymore, so I'm going to give you a head full of snakes. So, yeah.
What a trade-off.
I know, yay. So we're looking at that, and that's a beautiful piece, physical theatre. So we're using a lot of different expressive styles to do the performance. And in Hades and Persephone, we've got aerial and fire. So there's actually like fire blowing and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
How much research did you do into all of this? Like, because... I've heard of Adam and Eve, but I've never heard of, what was her name again?
Lilith. You need to know about Lilith.
That's it.
Lilith is like the embodiment of sacred sexuality for women. So,
really?
Yeah, definitely.
And then to like incorporate, incorporate everything you've incorporated, Medusa and everything. Like, it's awesome.
Well, these are things that I guess I know the stories of already throughout my life, and I'm like someone that if I don't know something, I'll go and read about it. But what's funny is this whole performance piece came to me intuitively. Like, I'd be driving along, I'd get the music, I'd get the performance piece, and it literally, I would hear the person's name. So I'm quite intuitive, and if you want to call it clairvoyant or anything like that. So it'll literally just like be there. So there was a lot of workshop that we did with the artists. I wanted to be able to have my vision conveyed through the way that they move, not just me saying move like this, do this. So it's been a beautiful collaborative process. And then I'm gonna, I guess, universe lining up right now, but have you heard of Ian DeMello? Check out Ian DeMello, guys.
Ian DeMello, okay. I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, like the most amazing crump dancer. Actually runs his own I guess dance group, DE space MELO, and that'll probably come up anyway. That's him on the left, yeah. So essentially I messaged Ian and said to him, I want to have a chat to you. He normally says no to everyone, and I'm like, I can't give you much details. All I want to tell you is I want you to be in this show, and it's literally come through me, and this is what I see for you. And he's like, Jazz, this piece is like this, essentially a past life and a feeling of this like person that dances with him all the time. So Ian's doing a beautiful portrayal of essentially medicine man / the other side of the coin, witch doctor. And so it's this beautiful piece that he's just moving through with crump. And if you know crump, it's all like, people call it aggressive, but it's so expressive. And so
really?
he's doing that piece through that.
Bloody adverts, but yeah, all right, here we go. Perth Hype. So, and
he is he's so young. If that's him right there, that's a young one, but he is phenomenal, like phenomenal. Yeah, that's him really young. If you check out, go to his, I don't know if you can go on Facebook, but if you go to his Facebook page, you'll be able to see some stuff there, or his Instagram. I've got something on my phone, but that's like on my phone.
So just on his Instagram at Ian DeMello?
It is, if you type in Ian DeMello Instagram, that's him. And just like the way it came to me, it was literally, this is like, if we want to call it a life force, that is not him. That is not him either. Hang on. It says I am Ian DeMello, I think. Go to the movement. And then, gotta put my glasses on. No. Let me.
Nah, you guys are getting there. It's all good.
We're all newbies in here tonight.
No, honestly, you guys have been doing really well, though. For your first go, I have to say, live on camera, you're doing good. You're doing really well. But yeah, so he's been around for a long time.
Long time.
And he's just a dancer, or?
He's a dancer and a choreographer, essentially, for what he does and the style that he does. And he also runs classes. So yeah, go and check him out. Same as Tyler. Tyler does amazing heels workshops and stuff like that. So heels workshops? Yeah. Okay. As in like high heels, dancing, burlesque and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
That's very cool.
Pretty cool. But it was just so amazing to have each of these people be like, I see and feel what you're saying. And I took each of them through like a meditation to literally meet the character and to actually connect with them. And it was pretty cool. And yeah, there's this thing I've been doing with William Whitecloud and Kel Townsend. So he's an amazing guy that teaches people to connect more with their intuition and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's called going and finding your gift. And so I took them through that meditation, and they were each like given a gift from the character. So it's been pretty surreal and also pretty cool in just
how it's all come
creating
together.
It. Yeah. And it's really nice because I've always used my intuition in my life generally. But to use it in my business, like, why the fuck wasn't I doing this before? Like, it's really stupid. It's like a no-brainer, but apparently, yeah, it wasn't. So, probably unintentionally using it, but instead of actually using it properly. So, yeah.
But then, so, like, when did you realise that you wanted to start doing a fringe show? Like, when did the idea come about?
Probably, well, definitely before registration, which I think is, like, August, September last year.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I was talking to Blunt and he's like, Jazz, you should stop doing, and not in a bad way, but stop helping everyone else. Like, I love helping people like with their passions and their purpose. Like, it really does light me up. But he's like, you should actually run a show this year. So thanks, Blunt. I said it to him the other day. But yeah, so him saying to me like, use your knowledge and your gifts and stuff and actually do it for yourself. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And then, so how many people are actually involved? Because it sounds like, because you've got the 4 acts, right?
More than that.
You've got more than 4 acts.
We've got a cast of 11. We had a cast of 13, but 2 people got sick or couldn't do the show.
Yeah.
Which we've been able to. One of them I saw. So you guys are gonna love this. Check out Frankie Fattel.
Frankie Fattel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's won Miss Erotic World before, and she's also been running her own shows in Fringe for years. The Menagerie, that's her on the left here. So she's ran fantasy and menagerie and all kinds of stuff, and she said yes to being in my show.
That's awesome.
Just like, so hey Frankie, there's every single person that is in my show is literally at, I believe, the top of what they do.
Yeah.
Even if they haven't stepped out before in doing it, like beautiful Katie and Adri, they're like been dancing and doing things for years and doing it in different ways, but never stepped into a fringe. And I'm like, come and do this. Like, I can see people's potential. I can see their gifts. I can see, you know, those things. And I'm like, let me create a safe space for you to be able to do it. And I think that's why I love creating and have loved for so long working on other people's events or other people's shows for them, because I'm so good at creating in an instant. I'm so good at pivoting if something goes wrong. I'm so good at taking someone's idea into full fruition. And I'm also really good at networking people together.
Yeah, because you're just like born into it, basically. like
Thanks, Mum and Dad.
You've been improving just ever since you're in your mum's womb, basically.
I think that also taught me how to party.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyone that knows me knows I'm good at partying too. But
no, that's amazing though.
Yeah,
so then you've got this coming up. And so this is running for, did you say 4 weeks?
4 shows only,
4 shows,
over 4 weeks.
Yep.
Get in, because we're doing good for ticket sales. So
that's awesome,
other people are like, you should be having more shows with this amount of tickets sold, which is pretty cool. So yeah, 4 weeks, 4 shows.
And then you're writing two other shows as well.
Yeah, and Tyler, I love you. She keeps being like sending me ideas for this other show that I've got her choreographing now. And I'm like, I need to get through opening night before I can start planning on more of the other stuff.
That's it.
Yeah, and then I've got some beautiful stuff working with some other artists over in the bottom half of Queensland area, which I'll take their concept. This is what's weird. So I won't say any names yet because we want to announce properly, but essentially I was speaking to him and I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I want to do some, he said about, can someone help him like start putting his music on tour? And I'm like, yep. But I also have this thing where I literally see you doing this stuff, and I explained it to him, and I'm like, I feel like it's called, we'll drop the name, Invocation. So keep an eye out for Invocation.
Invocation, okay.
Yeah, and he's like, I've literally been seeing the same thing as you, and I'm keen to like do this. I can't believe it. So it's just beautiful how everything, I don't know, they talk about when things are aligned, the doors open for you. And yeah, it's kind of in that way. So
that's pretty damn cool. How did you go about networking? So like you're originally, because you said you grew up in Newman, right?
Well, I grew up, well, I'm such a nomad. My parents, I guess my primary school years were Perth and Newman. So Newman first, and then high school in Perth. And then I've spent 20 years on each side of Australia.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow, okay.
There's a tip for my age there.
But then so you've been bouncing between both sides then, and then
and I don't know, I guess I just have this way of like locking in and listening to people about what they do and then what they need, and then knowing someone that can provide that.
NEWMAN.
Good old Mount Newman.
Yeah, so I've been there before. I've actually delivered someone in an ambulance there before.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, back when I used to do FIFA, and it's an interesting little town.
Yeah,
it's very small, but it's getting
very small.
But it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So
that's where I was when Dad used to do the gigs for the Variety Bash at the good old Newman pub. So
way back in the day, then,
bringing Paul Kelly and stuff like that up there. So
are they still doing the Variety Bash? Do you know?
They are, and I just met one of the guys. This is what's crazy. So many people know my dad as well. So which is pretty cool when you're like blah blah blah, and they're like, is your dad blah blah blah? But essentially they just did one. I forget when it is. But there you go. Oh, that's South Australia. You got to look up Queensland. I mean, it's WA. So much moving. But yeah, I met the people who are highly involved still. They have a little vineyard next to Funk Cider out in Swan Valley. So I was chatting to them, and they were like, if you know anyone that wants to come up and essentially drive with us and put on little shows and stuff. But at that point I was like, I have things that I'm doing. But definitely would love to get back into more of that stuff. I'd love to set up a car and just like go crazy Variety Bash and just take it up there. So it's definitely on the cards one day.
That'd be a lot of fun though.
Yeah. But yeah, they're like, we know your dad. And then Lucian, which is Flytrap Studios, he studied at SEA where my dad taught live music.
Oh, really?
Here in Perth. So my dad taught Lucian.
Damn,
I know,
okay.
which is pretty cool.
Big shout out to Flytrap.
Hey Louis.
Louis Black.
And then other people
awesome.
in Queensland where I was like trying to get people together to help my dad and mum finish the build on their house while dad was doing chemo and stuff. And people are like, I know. One of the funny things is one of them reached out and said, I'm more than happy to help anyone that's like been helping local scene and building the industry. And I'm like, thanks, man. He's like, your dad gave me my first go as a sound engineer. I literally thought he meant like me running gigs there. And I'm like, okay, well, no, my father. So I was like, it's nice when you hear stories about, I guess your own dad that have literally inspired and helped other people in their career, which is obviously exactly
like
the same same mindset that I have without even realizing,
good mentor and role model basically. No, it's amazing.
Cool.
It just seems like you've done so much and you continue to do so much.
I have no kids. My dad had 5, so my mum my mum is a good woman, and she was a great role model in working too. Like she was always working, always doing things, and I helped raise my brothers and sisters so that they could have that balance. Dad was on tour, mum was working and things like that. But I think that's where I got my sense of work ethic. Both of them are pretty hardcore with that kind of stuff. I guess having 5 kids, you kind of had to be to pay for everything.
That's it. Like it's so expensive to raise a kid in today's day and age, and even back then to raise 5 kids, like would have been nuts. But it's wild. So we're almost out of time as well.
Yeah, I saw you looking at your thing. I'm like, do you want me to shut up?
No. But this has been really cool though.
Thanks, Alex.
And so you're doing Saturday this weekend, right?
Saturday this weekend,
and then
nightclub.
Friday the weekend after, and then Saturday and then Friday again.
Yep.
Yeah. That is a cool way of doing it.
Means we get to have a bit of a break of things. And Tyler's on like 6 shows. She's crazy. So
damn, she's burnt out.
Heaps, yeah. And then a couple of other people are on other shows and stuff as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's been good.
And then Cassie is saying hello as well, by the way.
Hey, Cass.
Yeah.
You know Cass. She's one of my best mates.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if you want to, you can give away a a little VIP thing to one of your guests, one of your watchers over this week.
Yeah.
If they want to like comment their favorite villain or something on the post, and we'll give them essentially VIP cabaret spot, which is at the front.
VIP cabaret spot.
Yeah, so there's like cabaret tables that are right at the front of the stage, and it seats 3 people, so you can give one of those away to one of your listeners if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, just comment your favourite villain, guys.
I might just comment my favourite villain.
You can come anyway. Come.
Okay, yeah.
Come on, of course you can go.
That'd be amazing. That'd be really cool. Because I'm actually I'm on the... What time does the show start again? Sorry.
The doors open 7:30.
Okay.
So show starts at 8.
Yep.
And then it finishes at 9:30.
Okay.
I don't like those noises.
Yeah, so I'm DJing at the Vic Park Hotel.
Of course, yeah.
From,
are you?
From 4 o'clock till 9 o'clock.
Are you?
And so that's where I was like, oh, please.
What about next week? We'll chat off.
On Friday, I'm pretty sure I haven't got anything so far.
In.
Yeah. That actually could work out well.
Okay.
And I think, if maybe, I've got maybe a person I can bring with me, like a girl I can invite along.
Yeah, you can bring
a cute little thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just put you upstairs in the so upstairs normally people sit there, but we've got it for our whole crew and all the artists so that they can watch. And there's like, if you've ever been to Air, there's like this, like they call it I don't even know what they call it. I want to say the cockpit, but I don't know if it's the cockpit, but it's like the whole, it's got really nice booths and you can like oversee the stage, so you can sit up in VIP and just watch the show from up there.
No, that sounds awesome.
So yeah, really cool. Air nightclub, and we're going to have some cool cocktails as well that are like named after the villains and villainesses and stuff like that, which I'm crazy. I've designed as well. So
that's just so cool that you've done so much.
Well, now it's done. So now we just get to do these shows and then take it elsewhere, which is pretty cool, and move on to the.
But then, so
of the next
after the show, does it go back to being a nightclub, or?
Yeah. So at 10 o'clock it'll strike, and anyone that's got tickets can stay and party with the DJs and everything they've said.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah, I will be going to the Fringe VIP lounge.
Yeah, very nice.
I know, yeah, probably going to see some other shows, but it's just nice to knock off and actually go and sit.
Yeah. And just go and sit and hang out.
Yeah. I might cry after the first show.
Well,
just
like seeing your creation come alive.
And just like that decompression and
Have you ever thought about recording it as well at all?
Yes. Yeah. So going back to my uni days as well, I'm pretty sure that this is how theatre and other things are going to progress in the future. So one of my essays was literally in sound and tech, so in the technical theatre stuff. I'm like, the future is going to be, just knocked the mic, the future is going to be like dark rooms and a production put on stage and literally all angles of this. I didn't know how it was going to work, like going back 20 years now. I didn't know how it was going to work, but that's what I wrote. And I'm like, man, if I only had the money to have set up a company back then, it was how the future was going to be. So
that's it. Sometimes it's like that though, right? It's like you come up with these ideas, and then it's just like need some sort of investment or something. Yeah. And it could boom. It could work out really well. Could work out very well.
I'm like, I'm not dropping any of my other stuff.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I don't want to stall it.
But so then that's wild as well. So I didn't think, like, Fringe, I always thought was just in that park next to where Rosie O'Grady's was.
Yeah, they call it the Pleasure Garden.
Yeah, the Pleasure Garden.
Yeah. No, it's actually, like, everywhere. Like, all the way out, there's people doing stuff in Wanneroo.
Really?
There's people doing stuff in Freo. It's like all over. So I think it's quite great because it's like I think it was 25 years ago it started. It was called Art Rage. Art Rage. Yeah, okay. And it's progressed and it's beautiful I just like seeing things expand no matter what they are, and just So, and now, you know, Fringe is all over the world, which is fantastic. Obviously, Edinburgh Fringe is one of the biggest in the world, so I'm really looking for, probably the biggest in the world. I'm looking forward to getting over and doing that one. But Adelaide Fringe is apparently like one of the, maybe not the second biggest, but one of the biggest, and of course the biggest in Australia. So
wow, okay, I had no idea Adelaide.
Yeah, I know.
Because Adelaide's quite. Whoa, look at that.
A good old Radelaide.
Yeah.
So
look how big that is.
I know, and they had over 1 million ticket sales last year.
A million ticket sales in Adelaide.
Yeah. So I would have taken it to Adelaide this year if, like, essentially I knew the amount of work it was going to take to workshop this. Like, we've been in rehearsals. I've been in rehearsals some of the days 10 and 12 hours a day, because there's so many people and they're coming in and out and workshopping with me, and then going through, you know, all different parts. Like, it might be the aerial rehearsal, it might be their movement piece, it might be, you know, playing through their music and working out essentially the choreography and all that kind of stuff for the dance. So I'm definitely a bit of a tired chicken.
It's very cool though.
But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So yeah, if I would have, definitely next year, because it's going to be so ingrained and so worked that, yeah, it'll go to Adelaide. So,
but it's like, I'm baffled that it's just like, you know, you just keep doing stuff, you keep moving, you keep progressing, keep learning, keep just educating, keep, you know, keep building on things. Just like, you don't stop, which is such a good thing. Like, you know, if you don't stop, then, you know, you succeed, you'll be successful.
I think literally, like, on the day that I'm gonna pass, I'll literally be writing things and giving them to, like, people being like, put this on, do this. Here, I've created this, make sure it goes out there. I truly believe that, like, I think all creatives, no matter what it is, whether it's someone that likes to bake or someone that likes to write or anything, I think it's part of us. Like, you can't say goodbye to it. It's just something, even if it's something that, a poem that you write and it never sees the light of day, it's just self-expression. And I think that you can't really take that out of someone. And so, yeah, I truly believe on, let's call it my deathbed, that I'll literally be like, where's that book? Get that scrapbook I drew things in, or, you know, get the grandkids to come in, I've choreographed something. Make sure they do this. Yeah.
No, very cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is art and, you know, culture and entertainment, everything like that, and music as well, it just speaks wonders to people. Because, you know, it's not sitting in an office cubicle or something like that. It's like, it's being creative and sharing your culture with others almost, and your thoughts and ideas and everything. So, yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on. We'll wrap it up there. but
thank you, everyone.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, you guys did awesome. You guys did really well, yeah.
Mike, we didn't even get to any of the stories I told you before.
But just before. We have to come on maybe in a year.
Some
and then
crazy stories,
we'll do
that. Yeah.
Come back on and then we can go from there.
I'd love to. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to all you amazing people out there watching. And if you do want to come for free, definitely jump on the post and just comment your favorite villain. I'm excited to see people's villains anyway. So
I'll make a post tonight, and I'll just say, like, you know, win a couple of free tickets.
Yeah, well, it's a cabaret package for 3. So yeah,
just like, comment, share, and then also, you know.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, tag you guys.
Tag the movement. Tag everyone.
Do you have a Facebook page for
I do.
Okay, can we pull that up as well?
Yeah,
the Facebook page for. So it's just the movement then,
Yeah.
So then that's where the show's under that as well, right? Or
it is under that. It's under air, and it's under me personally.
Okay.
So, you know, when you add a multiple of hosts. If you, you can. I would go to the movement. So, I can't need my glasses again. And I've got an Insta as well. So, not that one. Not that one. I'm gonna say go. So, just go to Facebook. Cool. Type in there the movement. Open, see all. Oh, no, see this last one here where it's actually a post and you can see the girl's blonde hair. Hi, Katie. Click on that where it says the movement at the top. welcome to my page.
So this is your page here then.
Yeah, so it's got a little bit about all the things. Essentially, if anyone is looking for anyone to write grants or sponsorships, hit me up because I do that freelance. I freelance venue consult. There's Frankie. So Frankie is my Jessica Rabbit.
Very
We
nice.
have Katie at the top, who is Maleficent. If you scroll down, you'll see some others. We have we have Chelsea, which is our damsel in distress for the Shibari. We have Adri, who is Lilith.
Very cool.
We have Joey, who is Hades. We have Mary, who goes by Portia Sweet or Portia Not So Sweet. She's our Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, she calls herself Portia Not So Sweet as well. I love that. I love that little bit of macabre. And Ian, who's doing our beautiful, essentially our witch doctor / medicine man. And there's a few more in there, but I know that we're obviously a little time. Oh, actually, I have to tell you guys about Arnold Muzzer. He's absolutely amazing. He goes by the name ADM. Okay. He's been in Perth for a little while. I think he's I'm so sorry, Arnold. I'm like so tired. I think he's from Zimbabwe, but he's a producer. He writes his own beats. He does all this amazing stuff. He became runner-up last year for the Fringe air guitar.
Air guitar?
Yeah, doing Michael Jackson. It was amazing. He's an amazing self-taught dancer as well. And so he's doing our piece, which is essentially, it's our quirky piece. And he's possessed by a girl using a voodoo doll. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to get him on the podcast.
You need to get him on the podcast.
I want to get all of your actors on the podcast.
Networking queen. Yeah. I will sort you out.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Sounds very, very, awesome.
He's amazing. A beautiful man. Such a humble man. Such a beautiful man.
So I would love to dive into Zimbabwe. What it's just like growing up there, moving over here, and the whole process.
Yeah, well, he's going to be in Blunt's show as well. So Blunt's got, here we go, Blunt. He's got Mad Fapomania. So he'll be doing his, and Arnold's in that as well, and he's showing his progression of his life. So, which is pretty cool. So,
very cool. Okay.
Yeah. Here you go, Blunt. But yeah. There he is, Mad Fap. Gotta love a bit of Mad Fap.
Oh yes, I have seen this advert. Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be doing his show, not that one, but can't wait for that. So that's the one on Sunday. You should come to that as well. I'll introduce you to Blunt.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Right, this Sunday?
Come out to Scarborough.
What time?
Daytime show.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, you need to quit all of your jobs and come party. There's Timmy Preston. You guys have had Tim on the show.
Yeah, big shout out.
Yeah, hey Tim, sending you big love. Literally, it's another funny story, but yeah.
I'm at Rottnest this Sunday.
Of course you are. Buddha's at Rottnest too. Hey Buddha, Angry Buddha.
But I'll be there until 5 p.m.
You'll probably scooch through or maybe to the end. I'm not too sure, but
yeah.
These are all just like beautiful, amazing artists and creatives here in Perth, and I'd be happy. Like, you're already linked in with some of them, but I'll introduce you to some as well.
Yeah, no, I'd love to be. Yeah.
Then you're going to come to the other side of Australia and come down and do Tassie and
I
introduce
really
you to all the
want
people
to do
there.
Dark Mofo. I really want to do Dark Mofo.
On that note, we're having trouble finding that site.
All right. Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up though. So thank you so much for coming on, and this has been good. It's been good fun. So then we will see you guys next week. I haven't actually done the bookings yet. Yeah. Because we've just been doing going all over the shop with just how it's going to start running for this year. But I'm going to do the bookings as of tomorrow, and I'm going to book it up for the next 3 months.
Okay, well, I better get it.
Yeah, that's it.
In.
Send me some
names. Get in and Arnold in. Come on, boys.
That's it. And so we'll be doing we'll be doing mainly just one episode a week. Yeah. But then if something happens, a bonus episode or something like that, we'll be able to sort things out.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
thank you so much again for having me on.
It's all good.
I love you. You're amazing.
Oh, cheers. Thank you. You're pretty cool.
Thanks, dude. Oh, you.
All right. But awesome. We will see you guys next week. And then, cheers for watching. All right. Have a good one. It's the black screen. Yeah. And then.